Okay, it's on live.
All right. Shabbat Shalawam. This is the brothers of GMS New Orleans coming at you with another Shabbat lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Barakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure to the end, and to the few sincere Aqua diligently learning in silence. Shabbat Shalawam. And with this Shabbat lesson, you know, we're just going to get into, these reprobate heads and leaders in these other camps, which, as we get closer and closer to the end, it's becoming more evident who the spirit of Yahawah bahasham Yahawah is dealing with and who the spirit is not dealing with, because these wicked men, as it says, I believe in Timothy's, are waxing worse and worse, coming out with more abominable doctrines and heresies. At this point, it's a speculation, but just by the way they move, by not saying the name and just doing a bunch of other off stuff out there, they took the bag behind the scenes, ultimately just leading Israel astray. And hey, it was written all throughout the scriptures in the past that you had wicked leaders that did these things. And hey, these same spirits are back here in the reincarnation, and they're going to continue to do so until that great judgment comes, which, a lot of elders and brothers have been speculating that, 2020 or 2024, that Apostle Tafahar has deemed the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble is going to be the year when you see a lot of this great judgment of Yahawah bahasham Yahawah go out on these Israelites. And there's a video circulating right now of a Jake in one of these camps who recently, for his hard-headedness, got put to death by the Most High, getting hit by multiple cars. So hey, we can only expect to see these judgments continue for this rebellion and hard-headedness and heresy out here. But we'll start it off with that Isaiah 56, verse 10 to 12. Baba Kasha.
This is Isaiah 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
Hey, if you're a dumb dog that cannot bark and you're sleeping all day, that's a useless dog, because you have a dog to what? Warn you of danger, warn you of trouble. But with these other camps out here, what do we see? They're not, well, some of them are, but more often than not, they're not telling you, they're not specifying what the MOTB is. Some are saying Jacob's trouble is not going to happen. That is, it's GAY. Saying now you had what Captain Tazariak said about women being the second strongest thing to the Most High. Just complete madness out here. His watchmen are blind, not warning Israel of the terrible things to come. Here we are coming up. Here's another example, coming up on the Passover in a couple of months. And what can we expect? The fancy garments to come out in these other camps, the $500 tickets, just making the Passover, an award ceremony, a great supper and all that, instead of a solemn assembly. Keep going on.
It said, yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough.
And hey, the example that always comes up, pockets, over at the Purple People Leaders, they're known for collecting a lot of money out there, selling preset packets, expensive garments, starter kits, and all that. As it says in Peter's, they seek to make merchandise of you. Keep going on.
And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter.
And that's another thing you can see with a lot of these heads and other leaders out there. It's a lot of narcissism and megalomania going on. It's more about propping them up as the leader and that being the end all be all, like a cult, instead of what? putting Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI in the doctrine first and foremost. A damn popularity contest coming in on a horse with golden shoulder pads. Keep going on.
I gotta preach that real fast too, though.
Oh, Khan, you got it. You got it.
Honestly, brought it out. It's Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. It says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed."
Hey, by you not pushing the name, okay, first and foremost, that should discredit everything else that comes out of your mouth. What did commanding Bishop Nathaniel say recently? Don't, if you come with that Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI stuff, don't come by us. What kind of utter madness and lunacy is that? You know, saying that you can, deal with your woman on the Shabbat. Just we could be here for hours going into the myriad of examples that spew forth out of the mouth of these other camps. But again, as we get closer and closer to the end, it's going to become more apparent that these other camps don't have the doctrine out there, especially when, heads start rolling out here. Then Jake's going to want to get in order. And who are they going to come to? GMS, just like they did during 2019 and 2021 when this whole situation with the C19 and the big pokey happened. You saw a lot of members from these other camps, start to second guess their leaders and come to the comment boards. So how much more when that MOTB comes? That's going to be the great upset that's going to turn everything upside down. You had some more, Yakina?
No, that was it. Let me see. Let me look at it again.
I got something for you too, brother.
You got it? And then we'll go back to that Isaiah.
Yeah, they got a little. It says, therefore, somebody got some buzzing going on. It says, for therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall he have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is an hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this they are angry. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
And we've actually started seeing some examples of that judgment of Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI come to these other camps. Around the time in October when that whole situation flared up with Hamas and the 1948ers, you had some, I believe she was an Ishmaelite woman that drove her car into a place where I think one of ISUPK's centers because she saw the Star of David and thought that, they had something to do with the 1948ers. And then just recently, and this is from the timesofisrael.com, it reads, Montana woman under arrest for driving vehicle into religious group on sidewalk. And it reads, the 45-year-old, it says the woman, I'll just read a little bit. Genevieve Rancurit, 55, was pulled over by police in Billings on Saturday, a few hours after the episode, and taken to jail on charges of felony assault with a vehicle. And they said that she struck a 45-year-old man that was with the group, and he suffered minor injuries. But listen to this. Members of the group he was with, identified by police as Israelis for Christ, were holding signs and speaking through an amplifier at the time, the police said. And it gets even better. It said the Israelis united in Christ, but this is what it also says in the article. There is, however, an Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, which is an American organization of Black Hebrew Israelites headquartered in New York. A witness told the KTVQ news channel in Montana Sunday that the demonstrators were all wearing purple, so it was clearly a group. So who does that sound like? Sounds like IUIC. And if somebody could give me that one in Peter's real quick where it says, I shall begin my judgment at the house of Israel. Hey, coming into 2024, as a lot of the elders and brothers have been speculating, Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi is about to start bringing that great judgment down on you wicked Israelites out there. And as it says in this Peter's we're about to get, he's going to start at the house of Israel, you Israelites that know you're Israelites.
I'm holding second Peter right now. Where exactly?
Khan. It was 1 Peter 4 and 17.
4 and 17.
Khan.
This is 1 Peter 4 verse 17. It says, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of YAHAWASHI. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of YAHAWASHI?"
As the first part says, for the time has come that the judgment must begin at the house of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, and having people drive their cars into your centers or popping the curb to hit you while you're preaching on the street corner. Hey, that sounds like judgment. Nobody was killed at this point, but hey, as we get closer and closer deeper and deeper into Jacob's trouble, hey, those fatalities and body counts and examples of wickedness are going to be made. And hey, who's been warning you about these things, the terrible times to come, and what's going to happen to Jacob if they don't get right? Who we can honestly say, from the apostles on down, the brothers in GMS, as well as the brothers that come in the spirit of GMS. So you can't say you were never told when you start seeing, members in these different groups, in big numbers, start to get put to death. And hey, it's even going to happen to, members within GMS, like we saw with that Jake recently, that got run over by those cars because he was hard-headed and didn't want to get right. But I know you said you had a precept, Kalaya.
Come. Yeah, that's the book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 10. And it reads, For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped. And these, these different camps, all right, they know who we are. They understand we Israelites, okay? But it's gonna go on. Let me finish it. It reads,
It says, if I could say real quick, there are many vain and unruly men, especially of the circumcision, those that know they're Israelites, whose mouths must be stopped. Because look at, we know it's not about a numbers thing, but with a lot of these different groups, especially, IUIC, you see that they've got a lot of men, women, and children in their congregation. They have marching out, they have, picnics and all kind of stuff like that. But, they're being led astray. So that's a lot of blood that's going to be on the hands of, the leaders of these different groups. So it's a necessity that their mouths must be stopped, to stop the madness that they're spewing out and the great death that they're going to bring. But hey, we know that the elect in those different groups at some point.
Somebody got to mute their phone.
We know at some point, Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi is going to put the spirit on them to take them out of that madness. But you got it, Kalaya.
That be my phone. My phone tripping. I don't know what's wrong with it. But this back in Titus 1 and 11, it says, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake.
Hey,
taking that bag, know.
Hey, taking the bag, not teaching the name, not teaching, the right Shabbat, just saying you can again deal with your woman on the Shabbat, that there's going to be no Jacob's trouble. The list goes on and on.
Black only. I got one more verse. Also, that black only Israelite shit too, bro.
Yeah, that's another thing.
But this Titus 1 and 12, and it says, one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, and slow bellies.
Hey,
one more verse.
God.
It says, This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith.
And hey, that's exactly, that's why we're looked at as public enemy number one, because we don't let things slide over here. Whenever somebody says something off, what a brother does a rebuke video on it, to the point where these other camps are so proud that before they spew some madness, they'll say, "Oh, I bet those bummerlights are gonna say something about what I'm about to say," because you're going off. You're going off, and you don't give a shit. So what? You don't give a shit that people are leading you astray. The Most High's got something special coming your way. You got to collide.
Yeah,
Then you got to
Babakasha.
Kaya.
Let me jump down to verse 16. That's it for me. It reads, they profess that they know Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work a reprobate.
Hey, point blank period. You do what? We're supposed to be spiritual right now. We don't need to take up arms. The Most High, it's simple. All we got to do is go out and preach the word. But then you show up on Vice documentaries, shooting guns at the range. You show up to these different protests taking place and getting fist fights. You just put a complete stain and a tarnishment on the Israelites. And
the 22.
What you got?
Show up on Adam 22.
Oh, show up on Adam 22, and then put a comment in that video saying, "Oh, it was a blessing. It was an honor to be on this podcast with a world-renowned cuck, a degenerate." But hey, I'm gonna leave that there. But it's just if the men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord, are getting sick at this folly and madness that we're seeing, how much more YAHAWAH bahasham Yahawashi? Hence why this great judgment is coming, and it's coming quickly, and it's looking like 2024 is going to be the year when those floodgates really open. But you got it, Kaya.
Con, this Micah 3 verse 10. It says, they build up well, I'm gonna start at 9. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. They build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money.
Hey, again, that character, the Pockets over at IUIC, he was from what that one former member said. He was a guy that had a lot of money. So what? They kept hit him up for the money, just abusing their liberty with that man. And then get again what? $500 Passovers, preset packets, just the garments, just having this image, going out to, with the whole Kyrie Irving thing, sending them out or doing million-man marches for clout, just to sell the brand instead of, selling the word of YAHAWAH bahasham Yahawashi. Clearly all for money. Reality shows, just making this thing like some other, fad or trend in so-called black culture.
Yeah, to teach you to hate the good and love the evil, man. All right? To eat all kind of abominable foods, to do all kind of outlandish things that's against the scriptures. Okay, these people they're causing the people of the Lord to err. And the Lord said, go and teach my word with all judgment and equity. All right, let all things be done in what? Fairness, man. All right, but again, they can see a profit. They see gain from this thing, man. Men see that wisdom is gain. Men know that. Ancient men of old, and that's why the Lord gonna start at the ancient of the house. All right, these aged men that don't understand judgment, as it says in Job 32, that the Lord got a judgment for them. Seeing you don't understand judgment gonna compass you about. Is got a little more.
If I can say real quick, and what is it? Was it saying Timothy's that lead silly women unawares? And again, a lot of these other groups, what do you see? A lot of women in their congregation, and you see that they don't get on the woman like that. Why? Because the woman brings in that money, and what the woman brings in more male members. And I remember when Bishop Nate did an interview. It was like a 4 or 5 part series on one of those pro-African channels. I went down to the comments, and a lot of the Israelites that were bigging him up had female names and female avatars talking about how, oh, the bishop is he's bringing, he's really telling it out here. He's really helping the people. You know, them silly women being taken awares.
Well, look at the church houses today. All right, these holy houses. You use women as an advertisement. All right, because the men will bring in money if they see women. It's some men. Most of the time, we want to go to church and be like, man, they had the girls, Miss whatchamacallit, and there were her daughters in the choir. It was almost like something you gravitate to that you actually see. Like the brother been saying, a lot of men use women as bait, because where there's women, the men will follow. All right, and the men are the ones that's really the breadwinners. Well, now you got the women making money too, but nonetheless, like you say, you crowd the congregation with women and food and music, and guess what? You got the world in the house of the Lord, man. All right, just that simple, man. Right? Or people that conduct worldly ways or have anastrophe towards the world. Okay, and they carry it out as such. But I got a little more, brother. It says, yet, verse Micah 3:11, the rest of it. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet would they lean upon Yahweh and say, is not Yahweh among us? None evil can come upon us. And they even use the Lord name in vain in these different tabernacles they're in, man. Jesus, Lord Jesus Christ, and the Lord Christ bless. What are we talking about right here, man? What are we doing? All right. Hey, things just starting to get really weird. It's real satanic behavior out here, man, amongst these so-called elders and teachers, man. All right, just teach the Bible, teach the scriptures, man. You see, that's it, brother. You got it.
And what do you see with real quick? What do you see with a lot of these other leaders in these groups? They don't go out on. Yeah, something you want to say, I?
And I got one more verse. Finish what you was about to say, Select.
You see with a lot of these leaders, they don't go out onto the highways and byways and preach. What do? They send their men out. Well, what? They stay at their compounds doing what? Let's be honest with ourselves. Collecting money while they send the men out. They've got more important matters to deal with. And then there was that interview with General Yohana where they point blank asked him, oh, do you have a 501c3? And he said, oh, yes, definitely. And in order to have that, what'd you say?
You said absolutely.
Absolutely, with dollar signs on those glasses. And we know what that 501c3, to get those lucrative tax benefits, what do you got to do? You got to put a lot of leaven into that doctrine. But you got to, Kaya.
I'm going to jump up to verse 6, 7. It says, therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of our power. You got it, bro.
And we know that, the sun can stand for, that knowledge and wisdom, and that night and that darkness coming over them. It's whatever little knowledge, wisdom, and understanding they had being taken away from them, which we can see. In IUIC, they're talking about hell now. Like, what are we doing? Talking about hell now. Of course, they ain't talking about the name. And then what's ultimately going to come, their mouths are going to be shut even more. And then that judgment's going to come. That night, that darkness is really going to come when YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI brings that judgment.
Yeah, everything is done for money. It's done on the angle of what? Receiving money. All right. These people are takers, man. They're not givers. The prophets of the Lord is giving you the word of the Lord, giving you the way to repent. They're giving, man. All right. A lot of these men in these congregations have taken from their own men, man. Own men they've been with years, man. All right. They have defrauded them. Okay. Backstabbed them. And they even taken men, women, man. They even say you ain't good enough for your wife, man. So, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Hey, judgment gotta come, man. You got it, bro.
God, I know you've been holding something by on. You got it.
I got one too.
just backing up everything y'all brothers were saying. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, starting verse 1 from the top.
Hey, that's the spirit. I was gonna call for that one next. That's the spirit. I was gonna
Con,
call for that one next.
And that's the one I had too.
for a minute.
Con, you can read down to 3.
Con, yeah, definitely.
Con.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, starting at the top. It says, "But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that," gotta say that again, "even denying the Lord that bought them."
And hey, were we bought by Yeshua? Were we bought by Yahweh? Were we bought by Jesus Christ? No, we were bought by Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. You deny the name, you deny Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. And then like Sakari, what did they say? Oh, YAHAWASHI, he's an idol, pretty much. Like there's no need to worship YAHAWASHI.
And it's also can't forget, it's just the title. He has many titles, but for some reason he doesn't have a name.
Oh yeah, the new name. We're gonna have we're gonna get the real name in the kingdom.
Come on, man. But it says again, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
Hey, that's the equation. You deny the Lord plus your other heresy. So what does that equal? What's the answer to that? Swift destruction. Which again, 2024 is looking like the year that Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI is going to begin opening that floodgates of destruction, beginning at the house of Israel, the circumcision, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that know you're Israelites.
Verse 2 says, "And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of."
Real quick, I wanna get that word pernicious. See what that means. Pernicious. Ooh, pernicious. Having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. And you start out by saying, "Oh, we're all the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are the Israelites, the Edomites, the white man." You start putting everything out there that sounds good, but then in that pernicious, that gradual or subtle way, you start mixing in that leaven. We don't need to know the name. Jacob's trouble's not gonna happen, or what? Hell exists. And to those that are spiritually blind and dumb, that Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI doesn't want, they're gonna be led, straight to the slaughter. As it says, and many shall follow their pernicious ways. Again, wide is the way that leads to destruction.
And many also being that 2/3 of our people.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of our people is going to follow in those ways.
Because if you're not of the 1/3, doesn't matter if you're Israelite, you're automatically of the 2/3, and going to get that judgment along with your false leaders.
But verse 3 says, "And through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not."
A point blank period. "And through covetousness, greedy gain, shall they with feigned words," those fake words, those smooth words that sound good but have swords behind them, feigned words, make merchandise of you. Again, got to pay to go to the Passover. You got to pay for the garment, the precept packet, all that stuff. Just seeing you as a dollar sign instead of actually leading you in the right path of Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI.
But that's all I have.
Khan. I know you said you have one, Kushab.
Yeah, Khan.
And then you can go afterwards, Kalaya. And then we'll get back to that Isaiah, and then jump to that Ezekiel.
Yeah, this is Matthew 7 and 15. it's back another point our brother been making. It says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raven and wolves." Verse 16, it says, "Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes, or thorns, or figs, or thistles?" Verse 17, it says, "Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit." And, as our brother's been going into, these other guys spreading false doctrines, going off and different things and such, they bringing in the evil fruit, they bringing in things that's not of the spirit and probably how about Shah. As you can see, the differences on this side, all right, pertaining to great millstone, all right, bringing in the good fruit, all right, things that are part of the good tree, man, because, hey, like it says, inwardly they are raven and wolves. And when you read it in the NLT, it says really vicious wolves. So, as the flock out there, you got to be concerned, what you're getting yourself into, especially if you're a newcomer, But you got it, bro.
I got one.
God.
Oh, excuse me. This is Matthew 23:1. It says, Then spake Yahawashi to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Oh, what? They sit in Moses' seat. Who do we have coming out with those animations of splitting the Red Sea? Who do we have coming in on a colt during the Passover with a Viking garment on? You got it up.
It says, all therefore whatsoever they bind, bid you observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. All right, for they bind heavy burdens and grieve to be borne and laid up upon men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
Hey, asking you to pay all this money, asking for your social security number, which come on, what are we doing right now? Asking you for your social security number, or you're at one of the cookouts and one of the bishops come up to you and say, brother, or one of the deacons, brother, we had a council and your woman, we think she would be much better off with the bishop over here. We just don't think you're of that, how can I put it, of the spirit, to deal with this woman. We think her spirit would meld better with one of the heads over here. It's complete madness.
And give us your credit card too. When you give it to her, give us your credit card with it.
Don't forget this. Don't forget the 3-digit security code on the back.
Yes.
Right. And it says, verse 5, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. Right? They make broad the phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments.
And those garments do look really nice over there. Like those are some kingdom level garments.
And it says, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats of the synagogues.
Hey,
and it says it says in my bad. It says, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, rabbi.
Commanding bishop, hey, commanding general, grand bishop, and at the Passover, like a damn WWE promo, they got the lights and the smoke machine going, and they call them out with the microphone, and they walk through the aisle, getting the claps and the applause to sit at the high seat and commence things. You can look this up. We ain't making this up. We're not jealous or anything like that. We didn't use a deep fake to make those videos. This is all real stuff that's happened in the flesh. It's been recorded. You had some more?
No, that was it.
Oh, Khan.
Yeah, I got one up.
Khan, you got it. I'm looking for one right now.
Cause Romans 16 verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. And that's why, hey, we make these type of videos going to these other camps, these false prophets, because other people might listen and saying like we hating on them and this and that, but no, in the day, we doing this to warn to hopefully elect out there, hey, to stay away from these guys, not don't listen to them, because all you gonna do is lead you into destruction. You know.
Hey, if we hated you, we wouldn't rebuke you, because what's the point of rebuking you? To make you stop spreading false doctrine, and to get better. If we hated you, we just wouldn't say anything. We'd actually big you up, go to the unity camps, and just have a grand old time of things. But what did the Apostle Paul say? Have I become your enemy because I told you the truth? Hey, it speaks for itself. But real quick, because somebody get me Zechariah chapter 11. You can read verse 5 and then jump down to 15 and 16, Baba Kashah.
I got you. There's Zechariah 11 and 5. It says, you mind if I read verse 4?
Khan, you got it.
It says, thus said Yahawah, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahawah, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
As it says, feed the flock of the slaughter. And what's that flock talking about? Those Israelites that are getting led astray and that aren't of the elect, that are going to be led straight to the slaughter by that Judas goat. And what did Judas sell YAHAWASHI for? Filthy lucre. And what are a lot of these different leaders selling you out for? Filthy lucre's sake. As it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, going into Esau. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahawah, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Their own leaders have no pity upon them. Their own leaders, have made that covenant with death to fill their pockets while they empty your pockets and ultimately lead you to the slaughter. You can jump down to that verse 15, Baba Kashah, and read the 16.
It's Zechariah 11 and 15. It says, and Yahawah said unto me, take unto thee yet the instruments of a foolish shepherd.
And let's see what the instruments of a foolish shepherd are.
Verse 16, for lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall seek the young one, nor heal that is broken, nor feed that standeth still, but he shall eat the flesh of the fat and tear their claws into pieces.
God, for lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall seek the young one, nor heal that is broken. Not showing mercy to the widows or the fatherless out here, seeing them as a prey, looking at them like Esau does, as just another dollar sign and something to get over on. Nor heal that is broken, healing by what? The word, the true doctrine. They're adding that leaven to it for their own gain. Nor feed that standeth still, but he shall eat the flesh of the fat and tear their claws in pieces. And in Ezekiel, what does it talk about? Ezekiel 37, when the breath was breathed into him, what? The sinews and the flesh came upon them and they became living spirits. But what are these false leaders doing? They're sucking that breath out of you like those things from Harry Potter, the death seekers that suck your soul out. What? They're tearing that flesh and that bone and that sinew right back off you, making you dead bones again. I know as the brother Kaya likes, making you twofold a child of hell.
Yes.
I got one for you, brother.
I know Quashab and Kalaya was hold one before you are.
God.
And mine kind of passed. You got it.
Okay. We'll get you Kalaya, and then you Bayan, and then you got one Kaya. Con.
It's the book of Isaiah real quick. It's Isaiah 1 and I start at 29 31. It reads, because you had brought out earlier the scripture that was going into the trees, Kushab. This is one back you up real quick. It says, oh, one more thing. This particular chapter going into the restoration of Israel and the purging of the 2/3. Okay, just to give some context of what's going on. Isaiah 1 and 29, it reads, for they shall be ashamed, talking about the 2/3, they shall be ashamed of the oaks which they have desired, and shall be confounded for the gardens that ye have chosen. For ye shall be as an oak whose leaf faded away, and as a garden that hath no water. All right.
If I could say,
you got it.
If I could just say real quick, when YAHAWASHI went to that fig tree and it didn't, have any figs on it, what did he do? He cursed it and it withered and died. That's what Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI is about to do to you wicked fig trees out here. You wicked oaks and gardens and all that. You're about to wither and die, and your leaves are about to fall off. You're about to be seen for what you truly are, a blight. And when you look at what a blight is, if a land has a blight on it, that means it has a pestilence on it. It has bugs eating everything up, and that land can't grow anything. It's a sour, spoiled land.
And if I could say, somebody saying something? Okay. If I could say, it was saying that they desired these oaks, okay, because these oaks looked good to them. All right, it became something, what they wanted to go after. All right, they want to go after the image that these different men put out there. All right, that the vibration that these different camps put out there, but it's going in the end all be all is going to be death. But I'm gonna finish it out right here. 31. It reads, and the strong shall be as tile, and the maker of it as a spark, and they shall both burn together, and none shall quench them. And the overall message is flames and fire, man. Death. You got it up.
Hey, when you go to that Isaiah, wait, we might actually, let's somebody could get me that Isaiah 29 and 28 and read verses 14 to 15 and then jump down to 18. Well, actually jump down to 17 afterwards. Let me show. Just read all the way down. I'm looking through it, and it's got a lot of meat in there. Hey, just to back up what the brother brought out, the strong shall be as towel and pitch and that spark of flame, because that's ultimately what's coming. Your covenant with death is going to be disannulled, as we're about to go into. And if you aren't killed off by one of these calamities of Jacob's trouble, the famines, the pestilences, martial law, the only thing that's left is, being purified by that ultimate agent, fire.
You say start at what verse, 14 or 15?
14, Baba Kasha.
This is Isaiah 28 and 14. It says, wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem.
And hey, these other leaders I want to get that word real quick. Scorn. This is scorn. The feeling of belief that someone or something is worthless or despicable. Contempt, which is how, these leaders in these other camps feel about, us. They have scorn towards us. They take any chance they can get to make those little, snide comments and underhanded remarks towards us. They're grapists, just all this mad. They're bums. They don't have women. They don't have jobs. They're begging for money. All this stuff we've heard before. Simply for what? Trying to correct them, trying to pull them out of the fire. But keep going on.
It says, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement.
Keep going.
When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
And that covenant with death, is what? Adding that leaven to the doctrine, adding this world to the doctrine, that 501c3 and trimming your ways, to seek love and make that money. You think that by kowtowing to Esau, that when he comes down with that hammer, he's just going to forget you. He's just going to be like, well, you know what? They didn't teach the name. They did what we wanted them to do. So they just give them a pass. At any point in this history, anybody that this devil has ever, dealt with as an ally, what was their eventual end? They got the blowback of everything this devil did. You had that devil, Henry Kissinger, say it best: to be an enemy of America is dangerous, but to be a friend of America is deadly. Say, who shall pity a charmer when he is bitten by a serpent? You want to hold hands with the wicked, you're going to go down with the wicked. Keep going on.
It says, therefore, thus say Yahweh thy power, behold, I lay at Zion for a fountain, a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste.
And we know what that cornerstone is, YAHAWASHI, which, the builders rejected in the past. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, went to the Romans to, have YAHAWASHI put to death. So the servant is not greater than his master. To those that are coming in the spirit of YAHAWASHI, what do you think the Pharisees and the Sadducees are going to do today? Turn against us, try to put us to death, go to the Romans to put us to death. Those that they made that covenant with death with. Keep going on.
17, it says, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hell shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding places.
Keep going. You can finish at 18.
And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scars shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it.
Hey, hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and waters shall overflow the hiding places. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then shall ye be trodden down by it, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled. When Esau comes down in great wrath, which is really, the wrath of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashai, everything you worked for is going to be taken away from you. All these calamities are going to hit you. You're going to be exposed for being the Judas goats that you are. And then ultimately what? You're going to be that towel and that pitch and that spark of flame getting burned up by those nukes. If you survive that. But was somebody holding a precept?
Yeah, I got one for you.
Khan. I think you had one, Kaya. I think you have one.
Yeah, but y'all had it before me.
Oh, Khan.
God. Okay. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, starting at the top. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi.
And what can that all be summed up in? Being a selfish narcissist, given to that carnal man instead of being given to that spiritual man, which is all on display in this society.
And I end with verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away.
And what does it say in Proverbs, I believe 18? The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and safe are they that runneth unto it. They have that form of godliness, the broad phylacteries and the garments with the wide borders. But inside, as it says in Matthew's, I believe 23 as well, outside they're that clean cup, but inside they have the dead men's bones in them. They deny the power of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. They deny the name, and they simply do it for gain and filthy lucre's sake. Actually, read verse 6. Read verse 6 to 7, Baba Kashah.
Verse 6, it says, "For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with divers lusts."
And real quick, hey, that's why, you know, our elder apostles, you know, they put out that decree: no women in the body. You know, I don't want to see your woman. Your woman don't come around, because what, during the One West days, and even when our apostles broke off from One West and did their thing, what did you have? When you had women in the congregation, you had a bunch of adultery taking place and a lot of STDs getting spread around, and a lot of moist niggas back then. When Apostle Tahar put out that decree that women couldn't come around, they got their panties in a bunch about it and left. And then now what? As we've been going into, hey brother, that woman's not good enough for you. Your spiritual caliber isn't high enough. So we're going to take her and give her to the bishop over here, the deacon, so he can lead her in the right path.
If I can say to you, what the women gonna look at, you know, that example that we all know. You think they're gonna look at a man on the side, or they gonna look at that man that's arriving at the Passover on a horse?
Hey, hypergamy, monkey branching.
Yeah.
The what do they say, the BBD, the bigger, better deal.
God. But this verse 7, last verse for you, it says, "Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth."
Hey, moving farther and farther away from the knowledge of the truth, because once you take the name away, as it can only go downhill from there. Actually, jump down to verse 13, Baba Kashah.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. It says, "But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived."
And we're clearly seeing they're waxing worse and worse, deceiving their congregation and being deceived by who? The spiritual demon Satan. And it's only gonna get worse until their mouths are stopped permanently. But you got it, Kaya.
Khan, it's Isaiah 55 and 1. I'm gonna read the 3. Well, 2. It says, "Ho, everyone that thirsted it, come ye to the waters, and ye that had no money, come ye buy and eat."
Hey, real quick. What does it say? Ye that have no money, come ye to buy, to eat and drink. What? Hey, freely we got this word, you know, freely, you know, we sell this word, not making merchandise, not selling precept packets, and at that, precept packets that are off.
It says, "Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price."
Hey, that knowledge, that wisdom, and that understanding. Hey, we're not getting you drunk off of this wine. Hey, this is that wine mixed with a little bit of water to what? Ease your stomach pains. And we know that your stomach can be symbolic for your spirit. So what? Ease in your spirit.
Yeah.
Not making you a goddamn drunkard out here.
And Shalawan too, man. His teeth was white with milk, man. This is that wisdom, man. Like, Jay gotta know what it is right here, brother. It says, "Buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread?" Question mark. "And your labor for that which satisfied not?" Question mark. "Hearken diligently unto me and eat that which is good, and let your soul delight in its fatness."
And if I could say real quick, you know, back with that woman at the well, she was asking for, you know, real water, but Yahawashi told her, "If you drink from these waters, you shall never thirst again." Hey, these people in these other camps right now, what are they doing? They're drinking from that water that you shall thirst again from. You know, these carnal-minded, they're following these carnal-minded ways by these carnal-minded men. But what? when you drink from that true living water, that right doctrine, you shall never thirst again. You'll be at ease. You'll be at peace. Which, they're going to be like them foolish virgins. When this thing really goes down, they're going to come. They know, again, back during the C19 and the Pokey, whose comment boards did they come to? GMS. So when it goes down again, by that point, we can say the fame of the word's going to hit. They're going to come looking for that wine, and that oil. But what? The doors are going to be shut, that they can't come to the wedding. Yeah, some more.
I read 3. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. But a lot of our people have chosen that, man. They have came into those that be friends of the world. When you look at these other leaders, these Martin Luther Kings or whoever it is, man, all right, that led our people, they was friends of the world, man. All right. They themselves was in contracts and covenants with the government, man.
Still is.
So still is.
Still is. Still
right?
in bed with them, man. Through C9, through 501c3 charters and many other agreements that's made under the table, man. With briefcases and meetups and dark parking lots, man. All right. They're still doing the same shit today. All right. Ain't nothing changed. But go ahead, Doc.
Yeah. It's gonna say right here with the Lord gonna make a covenant with those that come to him. It says, incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David.
And we know you got the house of David, and what? You got the house of Saul. And what did Saul do? He wanted to keep, he was commanded to kill off everything of Amalek, kill off the goats and the sheep and all that, all the carnal things. But what did Saul do? He wanted to keep it because his men wanted to keep it. And what he said, because I want to give it as a sacrifice to the Lord. He led under his own understanding. So what? His house got cut off. But what? David said, I simply want to be a doorkeeper in the house of the Lord. I simply want the spirit of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI not to be taken from me. You got it, Kaya.
2 Samuel 3:1. Everything you just said. Now, there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. But David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker.
And we're clearly seeing that right now. The house of David is waxing stronger and stronger. These prophecies that our apostles and elders on down have been preaching, to the youngest brother are coming to pass before our very eyes, while these false doctrines that these other camps have been talking about, they're being exposed more and more. That light is being shined on them.
They got physical money. We got spiritual money. And we're gonna see what outlasts what. You know how they say, oh, that money grow old. Shit, that spiritual money don't never run out. So which one you rather your money get old or never run out, man?
And
so hey, it is what it is. We'll see.
And if you're concerned with that physical money, what you're gonna have to get to keep it, the one thing they're saying, it's not what it actually is. That MOTB, that 501c is going to become digital in the very near future.
That's going to be the new placement of the bank where they got to put their money at, man. They got to put it on that, in their head and their forehand. They got to put it in there, man. It is what it is.
Kind. And Kabar, could you finish off that Isaiah 55 verse at verse 12? And then we'll close it out in Ezekiel chapter 9. We'll close out Ezekiel chapter 9.
Because Isaiah 56 verse 12. Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant.
They're more concerned with filling their physical bellies, their carnal bellies, and their spiritual bellies, which again, when I know we're saying something different now, but when the commanding bishop was saying Jacob's trouble wasn't gonna, Jake wasn't gonna go through any tribulations. What did he say? They're gonna be married and given in marriage and drinking milk and honey and having a good time, living deliciously, filling their bellies up. But that covenant with death is about to be disannulled, and hey, the judgment of the Lord is about to begin at the house of Israel. But you can get that Ezekiel chapter 9, and you can start at verse 1 and read down to 6, Papa Shah.
I got it. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and 1. It reads, "He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, Cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand."
And going into these angels, these death angels that are about to get sent out with what? Those destroying weapons in their hands, weapons of cruelty.
Verse 2, "And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side, and they went in and stood aside the brazen gate. The brazen altar. And the glory of the Lord of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to a man clothed in linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side.
The angel.
And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof."
That the Wah, that mark of exemption, that angel with that spiritual inkhorn is going to write on the foreheads of the elect the name of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI on them. So, they're exempt from this great judgment, which is quickly coming.
Verse 5, "And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity."
And those that don't have that spiritual mark, that the Wah, but what are they more than likely going to have? That physical mark, that charagma.
Verse 6, "Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark."
Hey, no respecters of persons, men, women, children, old, young, virgins, newborn babies. Hey, if you're not of that elect number, you a grievous death. A death by pain is coming your way.
God. "But come not near any man whom, and come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary." Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
But begin at my sanctuary, and the judgment of the Lord shall begin at the house of Israel, amongst the circumcision. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, the leadership. Hey, those Judas goats, those false shepherds, those pastors that showed their flock no mercy, beginning at them and bringing them an extremely grievous destruction. And ultimately, what? That the strong being burnt, being that talent, that pitch, and that spark of flame. But did any brothers have any precepts or closing points they wanted to make?
That's pretty much it.
Kind of. Hey, so with that, we hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified by this Shabbat lesson. And again, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors To Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, rakahak wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. Shabbat Shalawam.
Shabbat shalom.